According to Bleacher Report, there's a three-team trade rumor between the Cowboys, 49ers, and Redskins. And this is very interesting because it's a three-team trade, and also you have two rivals competing with each other for a trade right here. So ideally, when it comes to this trade, obviously, as you can tell, it involves Kirk Cousins. But how it goes is basically Kirk Cousins will go to the 49ers. 49ers will trade for picks will go to Dallas, and then Romo will go to the Redskins. So basically, Tony Romo becomes a Redskin, Kirk Cousins becomes a 49er, and Dallas gets the picks. So it's a very interesting trade, and usually three-team trades haven't even happened. I don't even remember a three-team trade on top of my head. Like it's extremely rare, and this is according to Bleacher Report right here, very reliable site. So it's not like just some creepy guy in the basement like me who basically made this random report up. This is actually like for true. And it's fairly short. They don't have too much information about it, but I think it would be the winner of this trade would obviously be the 49ers and the Cowboys, because obviously you get to get Romo off the market. You get something in return for Romo. And then I look at the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan gets the quarterback that he worked with in Washington, because Kyle Shanahan used to be the OC at Washington. And so I can definitely see that, because Kyle Shanahan doesn't really exactly work with developing quarterbacks. I'm not sure I have a lot of confidence in him to develop a Deshaun Watson, a Mitch Trubisky. I'm not sure about that. But I definitely think that if you get a veteran quarterback in there, similar to Kirk Cousins, it could be very good. But the Redskins get Tony Romo, which I just don't understand why you would do that. I think Tony Romo, if you have Kirk Cousins, then why would you go for Tony Romo? I look at Romo, he's older, he's more injury prone, and I also don't think he's as good as Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins has a very bright future, actually. I think he could possibly have a nice 12-year career, and that's what I think about Kirk. And overall, I know Tony Romo, obviously, he's basically, according to this article, he's more likely to get released, according to some reports out of Dallas. And obviously, Dak Prescott told them overall. And then, according to Jerry Jones, I don't like to use Jerry Jones as a source because Jerry Jones kind of changes his mind a lot. And this is what Jones said. This is what it is. It's a juncture we have to address. I don't know how ultimately we will resolve this, and nobody should be alarmed because you don't have all the answers. There are some issues here that you just have to see how the cards are playing, but we'll work this through. Now, obviously, I said about Jones is he's not entirely the correct shirt, because he is kind of a wild card. You don't know what he's going to do. And he basically just admitted to himself, we don't exactly know what to do. That's just who Jerry Jones is. He basically, he improvises a lot. That's who Jerry Jones is. I know a lot of people hate him. But apparently Cousins would love playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Well, ideally, they have an iconic fan base. I think Lynch is a promising GM. I know their owner is a douchebag, and they're obviously in a lot of trouble, but he would get a lot of, I think, help from like a guy like Joe Montana or something like that. And obviously the 49ers, it's very helpful to have Colin Kaepernick out with his contract, so I think that's very good there. But I just don't understand why the Redskins would even participate in this trade to get rid of Kirk Cousins. I don't know what it is, but there's always been this quarterback controversy in Washington, even with Robert Griffin III and when he was there. And apparently Mike Shanahan wanted Kirk Cousins. He didn't want Robert Griffin III, but the GM wanted Robert Griffin III. So there's might have been this thing here, and it looks like they don't even like Kirk Cousins. I don't think they like any quarterback that goes through Washington. Hell, if you look at the years when they had that dynasty in the late 80s, early 90s, they went through a couple quarterbacks, actually, to win Super Bowl. So it's interesting. It's interesting enough what the Redskins want to do, and it looks like Dan Schneider just doesn't like Kirk Cousins. I just don't know. They don't like any quarterback. They just don't like keeping quarterbacks for some odd reasons. That's just who the Redskins are. So overall, when I look at this trade, obviously it's great for the Cowboys, great for the 49ers. Redskins, your management really, really sucks.